Right, go for it.
The title of the magazine is called NLD Grime Scene. I name my magazine NLD Grime Scene as it has a catchy, upbeat name that can capture the reader's attention whilst viewing it and makes it stand out against competition. The font is real graffiti found on defont.com, and it was chosen due to its swagger and cool design that's almost graffiti-like, which would appeal to my target audience. Graffiti has connotations of crime and financial struggle, which may be problems that my target audience could stereotypically face. Therefore, it may be familiar to them, and it is also stylish. I believe that the title and font links a brief due to the vibrancy that holds, and the name also links to area names in the brief being North London. The purpose of my magazine is to enter the magazine market in the music area and to be able to leave an impact by representing grime and attempting to publish the best grime magazine possible. As well as aiming to lead the market, I also would like to shed a positive light on the grime scene and get rid of stereotypical views and opinions owned by the public, and to help grime continue to gain popularity. I also want to create a sense of bond between grime and education by making this magazine, as I believe it could influence my target audience to read more and therefore have a higher chance of succeeding in their education and possibly reduce crime as a result. This links a brief as it is new and considered original due to its positive purpose. Genre. The music genre that will be displayed within my magazine will be grime. I've chosen grime as I believe there is a lot of potential for growth within the genre, and with the right exposure, it could be the next big thing. My magazine will be comprehensive, and we can see that as it includes articles, reviews, offers, giveaways, stories, free music clips, and advertisement content for where grime artists are performing and when. The grime element will be represented not only through content, but through the use of the grime style by using graffiti, pictures from the grime scene, and strong colours that reflect the genre. Content. The magazine will consist of articles, for example, an article about an event that was considered the best of the year. This meets a brief implicitly as it creates exposure because people need to know about it. Reviews, for example, a review on a popular grime venue in North London where it informs viewers on whether it is worth visiting or not. Offers, for example, 20% off tickets for the upcoming T-Wiz gig, exclusively available for readers. Giveaways, for example, tickets to a gig or clothing. Stories, for example, up-and-coming grime artists and how they've made it to where they are and where they aspire to be. This meets a brief implicitly as it showcases the talent in the area. Free music clips, for example, a 20-second snippet from an artist's new single. This will be accessible by the use of the QR code, our USB. Advertisement, for example, information where grime artists are performing when. Online content will be the same as the magazine paper version, although the need for a QR reader will be unnecessary online as the clips will be added in directly. The online version will also have social media content and accounts, as well as videos from grime scene. The content meets a brief as it reflects new content within North London that will help develop a vibrant music scene. Form. My paper size will be A4 as I feel as though it will give the customers good value for money, and I will be able to stand out on the shelf, and it will be able to stand out on shelves due to its size. The type of paper used will be coated due to its high quality, which will give a product a sense of style and glamour that will make the customer feel cared about. The magazine will consist of between 50 and 60 pages every week, fluctuating depending on how much content is available. 50 to 60 pages is more than enough for a weekly magazine, and I feel that if there was any more of it, it could be off-putting to my target audience, as it may be too much reading for them. This meets a brief as a new product, as well as being vibrant and based in London. The online form will be a website. The website will contain all the contents on the magazine and will cost a subscription fee monthly, which will be £6.99, which over the course of a year comes out nearly half the price of the year's worth of the paper version of the magazine. If the website is a big hit, then I'll create an app on the magazine in the future whereby the interactive QR content would also be instantly accessible. Target audience. My primary target audience is male, black or mixed race, between the ages of 18 and 22, and the lower class being the C2 DE. Ethnicity would also be English African. Grime is dominantly represented by the young, lower class black community. Therefore, a lot of its followers are young black males who often come from a hard background and have low income. It will appeal to this target audience as they hold a main interest in grime, and I believe it's the best market to attract as they're all quite involved and passionate about the genre. As a result, I believe they would hold a strong interest in the magazine. As they're over 18, they most likely would have a job, which means they would have disposable income to purchase magazines weekly. This target audience would meet a brief due to its vibrant young audience within North London who would be viewing original content. My secondary target audience, male and females, all races between the ages of 15 and 18, as part of a C2DE class, and all ethnicities. Grime has progressively started to attract younger audiences over the last year due to grime's exposure via social media platforms, and has also grown a larger female viewing interest. Therefore, I believe my magazine would appeal to my secondary target audience as there is room for growth and potential, and the younger audience are very keen to know the latest news and gossip within the music industry, and some would usually spend disposable income on things such as magazines. Therefore, I think they'll buy my content and hold interest. However, due to the young age range, as a magazine trying to promote a positive light on grime, I would need to keep the language used in the magazine if it's promoted restricted, as it could be reflected badly on myself and the magazine, and could be viewed as unethical as well as contradicting the purpose of my magazine. Resources. I'll use a camera to take photos for the magazine, a computer to edit the front page and double page spread, and also for research, a printer to print the magazines, paper to write down ideas as well as the sketches, and pencil and pens to be able to write or draw. Personnel. For the purpose of the first edition, I will be conducting all the following roles, although in the future it will be conducted by a team. I will need a photographer to take pictures of the models for my front cover and double page spread. I will plan photography scenes as well as a front page and double page spread whilst editing my content as well. I will need a contingency artist just in case my artists are unavailable at the time of photograph taking. I will also have an associate to help carry equipment and help with my location recce. I will need an editor to help edit the images as well as the audio copy, and I will also need a designer to help design the magazine. I will also have a researcher, as I believe it will be beneficial in order to gain a competitive advantage, as a researcher could scout talent and analyse competitors. Distribution. The magazine at the start of the launch will be sold by newsagents and supermarkets, as they will gain exposure to free advertising stores, as they can generate sales through product placement, which is where the product is placed near the counter. So when people go and buy their products, they might see it and decide to buy it as a one-off, which could then attract repeat purchase. Further on down the line, the possibility of delivery with the magazine subscription could be brought into place. The product will cost £2.99 per week issue, which I believe is a fair price for my target audience. It will be distributed online via the website, being updated. All subscription owners will receive a notification via email to let them know when the weekly update is done. Marketing. Both versions of the magazine will be advertised via social media sources such as Instagram and Twitter. This is due to the fact that it's free to do and has potential to capture a large audience. There will also be promotions such as offers and giveaways. This is to encourage customers to interact with business in the attempt that they would stay and create loyalty towards the magazine. Here are some sketch layouts. Font styles. The masthead. The font is real graffiti, found on dafont.com. The font is real graffiti, found on dafont.com, and was chosen due to its swag and cool design. That is almost graffiti-like, which appeals to my target audience. Headlines. The font is Raptors Italic, found on defont.com, and it will be chosen due to its bold presence that almost asserts a sense of power. It will also be used to for cover lines. Body copy. The font is Simple Light, found on defont.com, and it was chosen as I felt as if the body copy needed to be simple and easy to read, especially due to the fact that a lot of my readers, being my target audience, may have a lower level of reading ability. Therefore, it makes sense as it is understandable. Therefore, it makes it as understandable as possible to read. Article ideas. Article idea 1, interview based, will include quotations of the interview and will feature narrations throughout. An example could be an interview with crime artist J-Dog discussing his upcoming album release. Article 2, story based. It will include a brief overview of an artist's career and will showcase how they kickstarted their career, where they are now and where they aspire to be. Article idea 3, review based. It will include a rating and opinions from a critic based on an album, song, artist, venue or a concert. For example, a review on J-Dog's new album, Moving Mad. Competition. There are 3 types of competitions that I'll be showing you, although none of them directly competes with the brand magazine that I'll be creating. So these are 3 examples of magazines within the same kind of area, or within the music industry. The London magazine showcases the world of design and fashion within London. It is a high-class targeted magazine that is filled with luxury, dream-worthy content. However, it is aimed at a different target audience that I believe is more niche than mine. My magazine will also be cheaper. This magazine is based on classical music, hence the name. It is a basic magazine visually and doesn't generate a lot of interest. It is also nearly double the price of my exciting magazine. And finally, the last magazine is called Ends to Ends. This magazine is called Ends to Ends and is a multi-content magazine with a funky kind of look. However, it can only be found online. And it also has less specific content due to a range of different content and is only released monthly. That's it.
Done. Okay, questions?
How come you chose like magazine covers that aren't really like related to music?
Because that's really all I could find.
Competition?
Ends to Ends
Yeah.
was the same kind of level and the same kind of area, but it was also early online.
Yeah,
So there was a
that's the only one really. I mean, the London magazine completely contradicted everything you said because it's high class, higher end, you know, for people that have a lot of disposable income, so scrap that because that's not. And classical, I would also argue.
Yeah, the only thing is there's none specifically in the same area as mine.
Fine, that's fine. So you can pull on the fact that other magazines, that Billboard, NME, those kinds, would maybe include some content that would be the same as yours, so some of the artists might cross over. But the Ends to Ends is a great one to
Shows that
found.
because it was a similar kind of thing, similar
Yeah.
kind of.
I would find one other, look at Billboard or NME.
However,
Yeah.
classical was just based, it's a genre-based magazine.
Okay.
Although obviously it's a different genre, but I thought that it could be something to compare to.
Okay.
And the London magazine was just based on the
location.
Yeah, I think that sort of instantly stood out as not sure what that's doing in there.
I would look for more relevant music magazines, because then part of your selling point is that it's a North London music magazine, which doesn't exist.
Yeah, and that's a great one. That's a really good one. In fact, it's online as well, which is good. Fonts, I can see you've got them there. You just take screenshots of it because PowerPoint won't identify the font. So just take screenshots of that. I like your contingency artist. I think that's a really nice idea.
Also, the mood board wasn't actually on there.
Fine, okay, make sure that
Right,
put that on. I like the target audience. I think you explained it really well. The only issue is you overlap the 18. So you say 15 to 18 and then 18 to 20, whatever it is. So it's 15 to 17. Because that 18-year-old is part of your primary.
Okay.
So just make sure that that doesn't. So your monthly online is £16.99 and your physical weekly is £2.99.
Yeah.
So it's going to cost you £369,
So it's
about
just
£12 a month for a physical print every week, and then about half price that online, which is quite nice. I'd make that clear and just say we'll be offering half, almost half price.
Pretty sure I did actually. Right.
So they missed that.
Which over the course of the year comes out nearly half the price of the year.
Fine, okay.
Zach, when you made that point, what section was it in? That point about it being half the price, because
I'm not sure who was in with the price section, was
That was
it?
under form.
Fine.
because on the form page you talk about the cost of the online one, but you don't mention the cost of the weekly one. So there isn't on that page when you talk about it. There's nothing to compare it to. You talked about the cost later on the distribution page, so that's something that you should change on the slide.
Yeah, just
So
add it
that
into that
because
slide.
it's a good point, but unless you mention the weekly print cost as well, the audience
It's
can't.
lost, yeah. It's really good. I like that. It's a good idea. Okay, anything else from anybody at all? Yeah.
Just one more thing about it's more about the arrangement of the slides. Like, I really like your introduction to your ideas and stuff, and you talk about your target audience quite a lot, but we don't know yet what your target audience is. So I thought it might be worth moving your target audience slide to the beginning, because that's obviously an important part of your magazine selling point. So talk about your target audience and then talk about the magazine. Maybe.
Sorry.
No, that's it.
Yeah. The PowerPoint as a whole needs far less text. There are moments where you're reading exactly what we're reading on the board. Just needs to be bullet points on there so it gives you a chance to show it on. But I think that's just because those last slides that you put on are the slides that you've put on now. Whereas the other ones I could see that they were, you just extracted information. Okay, right, good. Okay, so really